Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Xoxo, this is Xoxo Tarot, and in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be looking at whose head you are currently living in rent-free. Another way to put it would be who cannot stop thinking about you, for better, for worse, so on and so forth. Before we get into that though, guys, I am going to be going live this Saturday. I was supposed to check the calendar before I started filming, but I'm already filming, so I'm just gonna like put whatever this Saturday is down and we'll just do that, and then if I forget, you'll tell me and I'll be fine. This Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am going to be going live with a special guest where we are going to be announcing something very exciting. We're also going to be doing a Q&A and talking about our disciplines, because they do something like tarot but a bit different. So yeah, definitely, if you're not already signed up for my email list, that would be a good way to be reminded so you don't miss the live. If not, of course, you can see it in playback. And you should just be signed up for my email list anyway, because that is where all important communication is going to be happening from here on out. It's also, you get special email list privileges, like cute pics sent to you, random messages that I might receive, and very generous deals and opportunities on upcoming things in the future. Also, information about readings, should those ever open, that will be through the email list and through the email list only. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into what we're doing in this reading. So we are going to start by looking at who this person is and what their relationship is to you. It's possible the person thinking about you might not know you very well, so hopefully looking at what their relationship is to you as well will help you kind of recognize if maybe it's someone you have an idea of or someone you don't know at all, but you could see how they would relate to you in that way. Then we're going to go into, you're living in their head, what you doing in there? Like, what's going on in their head? What are they thinking about when it comes to you? And we're going to kind of go deep into that. And then we're just going to finish off by looking at some guidance, and we're going to look at first, like, are they going to take any action towards you, or is this just something that is going to stay within their mind? We're also going to look at, should you do anything if you want to, what you might be guided to do, and why did this reading come to you? I was going to ask what you needed to know. Maybe if I feel like you still need to, I'll ask at the end of your reading, but asking why this reading came to you, I think, is more beneficial, because maybe there's something you need to know about the situation that you didn't, or something like that. So that's what we're doing today. So we have 3 different groups for you to choose from today. So starting with group number 1, we have this Fire Quartz bear and this Badlands Banshee card. And then for group number 2, we have this Larimar heart and this card with La Llorona on it. And then for group number 3, we have this Amazonite Merkaba and this card with the Flatwoods monster on it. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It is absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. It's totally possible that more than one person could be thinking about you a lot, because I know that really cool people come and watch my videos, so like, why wouldn't you be on a lot of people's minds? So yeah, feel free to pick more than one. If the beginning portion doesn't resonate at all, it could still be accurate. You may just not know who it is that's thinking about you so much. But at that point, if you don't know, it might not be worth watching. The links for things, the timestamps, that's the word. The timestamps will be linked down below. And intro squad. Sorry, no candle today. Trying not to set off my fire alarm. I don't know if you can tell, but we have cryptids on these cards. So what are your local spooky theories, or local what are your local cryptids and or local scary stories, like scary? I want to hear all of those. My local cryptid is actually the Mothman, not to flex, but to flex. Like, I grew up in Mothman territory. Naturally, though, there wasn't much discussion around that because the very real tragedy that happened around the time of the Mothman sightings is kind of what my family members that were alive at that time, that's what they remember and talk about, understandably. But yeah, pretty cool thing, honestly. Maybe I'll see him one day. And honestly, if he looks anything like that statue in West Virginia of him, would. Okay, with that being said, go ahead and scroll down to the comment section or the description box where I have all the timestamps listed below. See, it's baked into my brain there. The reason why I couldn't think of it was because my brain chronologically timestamp comes later, so I don't know, I guess I couldn't access that word. But once you found your timestamps, you can go ahead and click on your group or groups, and I will see you in your reading. Hi there, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Fire Quartz Bear and the Badlands Banshee, this is going to be your reading on who can't stop thinking about you, whose head are you living in rent-free. So we have the Badlands Banshee as the first card representing who this is. We also have the Seven of Wands and the Four of Swords. And then looking at their relationship to you, we have Observer, the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and the High Priestess in reverse. Okay. So this interpretation might be a little bit specific. There might be multiple that come through, so bear with me. The first adjective I would take to describe who this person is, they're loud. They're very loud. Like, they could have a very loud voice. They could have a very loud laugh. They could be a musician of some kind, or and one thing that I hear even being specified is less of a professional interest and more of a just, I do music sort of thing, or I enjoy playing music sort of thing. But they're definitely quite restless. They don't really seem to kind of calm down. They could deal with some sort of mania or something like that. Like, there could be times where they're just very energetic and they don't really seem to slow down. I can definitely see here, this person for you likely haven't had in your life for quite some time at this point. Or you may have intentionally removed this person from your life. The fact that the Seven of Wands is here definitely tells me there's some defensiveness either on both of your ends, or at least on your end towards this person. I definitely feel like this is someone who can be, once again, very loud. For some of you, you might say that they have some healing to do that maybe they haven't prioritized. I would also say as well, this is someone who feels very passionately about defending innocence. And the thing with that is that it does come from a loving place, but I think that this person could be quite sensitive. And so they could actually become quite aggressive or even like a bully if they feel like someone else is being slighted or they're being slighted. They can get very defensive very fast, and the irony is like, it seems like they could actually go on the offense and like outwardly like attack people with their words or things like that because they're feeling defensive. If this person has ever said to you, like, I don't have any friends, or I'm better off alone, or people always leave me, I would say you've probably seen why. But if they've ever said anything like that, take that as confirmation that this is who this person is. I can definitely say that this person is quite stubborn, and they do genuinely mean well. Like, I don't feel like, well, they do until they feel slighted. Like, this is the type of person where you're like, where they would say, oh, you don't want to get on my bad side. I don't know if I would even want to be on the same side of town as them, just because I wouldn't want to risk it. You know what I mean? And this is not to judge them or anything like that, but they can be quite volatile when they're hurt, and they can lash out at people for sure. I also think that they're not very reflective. Um, and when they become obsessed with something, they can be very passionate about it. So, in terms of the nature of their relationship to you, it definitely seems like they're on the periphery, either because they're either not in your life anymore because of things that occurred between the two of you, or they're not in your life anymore because of circumstances, like, say for example, maybe you both used to work at the same job and now you don't anymore. Situational circumstances. The interesting thing about the nature of their relationship to you is, I think it's different depending on who this person is. And I also do want to add and want to mention, like, this person can be very fun, very loud, very boisterous. And I would also say that this person has one person who's kind of like obsessed with them, or one person who follows them around a lot. Like, I wasn't going to use this term, but kind of like a flying monkey. But here's the thing, I don't think that, or you know, like Donkey to Shrek, you know, Shrek may not want Donkey around, but Donkey's sticking with Shrek, you know what I mean? A kind of almost like a sidekick. In terms of their relationship to you, it seems like you may know something about the way that they conduct business, or know something about their life that could be bad for their business. And so that could be something that keeps them defensive with you, and be like, the nature of your relationship could be, well, you don't really have one now, but you might be seen as a liability in their eyes because you have maybe incriminating information about them. Or it's possible that maybe you rejected this person. And I would say that it doesn't have to be romantic. For some of you, I definitely feel like it's actually a friendship related thing. And for others, I feel like it has to do with volunteering for you, or working for you, or working under you in some sort of way, or maybe collaborating with you. The nature of the relationship could be, for some of you, maybe you haven't met this person, but this person has a desire to work with you in some way, but they don't really have any openings or opportunities to kind of put themselves in front of you, put themselves out there. And so they just kind of watch in the periphery. But for others of you, this could be someone, you know, that you said, hey, like, you know, maybe you didn't end up hiring, or someone you didn't end up being friends with, or someone you stopped being friends with. This could even be someone who maybe they had a project they were working on and they wanted you to be a part of it, and then they screwed you over in some sort of way. It definitely seems like the nature of your relationship to them has something to do with either a secret of theirs that you're aware of, or a secret of theirs that they're afraid you know about, where they might be like, oh, what if group one does something? This could also, like, this relationship could just be one where, to put it point blank, like, this person could be getting a lot of like readings on you, or getting a lot of like bad information, like poor information on you, or like keeping tabs on you through like their own psychic abilities, which, if it's their own, I would definitely say that they probably don't have the best sense of grounding. or they might be using others, and they might be doing that very frequently to the point where it's like harming their finances. There does seem to be a bit of an obsessive energy here. And I also think that in terms of the nature of their relationship to you, I feel like there is a lot, this might be someone that you don't even know that deeply, but in their head, in their mind, in their world, like, you guys have a very rich and very deep relationship, and they might ruminate over the past about that. It's also possible too that this person could have done something to you that was hurtful, and maybe the reason they did that was because they got guidance from like a psychic source or something like that, and they gave them poor guidance and they followed that guidance, and now they're cut out of your life. So if any of that resonates, I don't know if it will, this is going to be a reading. One thing I will say is, like, I had to go, it took me a really long time, like actually the span of a day, between filming the intro and starting this reading, because I kept switching up the cards that I was using. Like, I kept downing myself and like overthinking it, and I actually was very restless yesterday. I feel like this whoever this person is, they definitely are a bit ungrounded, and while they certainly have enthusiasm and passion, it kind of reminds me of like the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, where like I feel like they can be set off really quickly. And so this might have been the type of person you felt like you had to walk on eggshells around, or the type of person that you felt like. Another interpretation that I am seeing as well is that they could be actually, no, I'm being told to just keep going. And well, I guess it doesn't really matter because it left my head as quickly as I thought of it anyway. So we are going to use this deck to go ahead and look at what they're actually thinking about when it comes to you, because that's going to be really helpful for me. So, by the way, before I shuffle, if you're not signed up for my email list, you should be. And thanks for leaving this video a like. Okay. Why is group 1 living in this person's head rent-free? Okay, yeah, we have the 10 of Cups in reverse. Why is group 1? We have the Page of Wands upright. Why is group 1? We have the King of Pentacles upright. We have the 7 of Cups in reverse. Is there anything else? We have the Knight of Swords upright. And can we do one more, please? We have the 5 of Swords upright. Okay. So this is giving me a lot and not a lot at the same time. So if you're still watching this and I didn't give an interpretation that is exactly your situation, but through these cards you can see circumstances that fit and make sense, take that as confirmation and tell me what that is, because I can always need to be learning more and seeing more. Oh, 5 of Pentacles reverse. Depending on how close you are to this person might feel like they're entitled to support of yours that they haven't received. They could be feeling like hurt or betrayed by that, but like I said, it's probably some sort of support or help that they felt entitled to, not that was promised or anything like that. You're living in this person's head rent-free though, because I feel like they have a very juvenile understanding of the way they think things should be in the world. And you are meant to play some role in their mind. You're meant to play some role in their life that they are not getting. because you're not playing that role. And so as a result, they kind of obsess over you a little bit. If there was any, for others, it may be less about you being in their life and more about you having the life that they want and feeling like you having that is like you stole their life or stole what they were supposed to be doing. Like you stole their role. They could be really obsessed about that. And I would say, you know, if someone thinks that you stole their light or their role or their spot, it was never theirs. Okay? Because everybody has their own. And I would definitely say that this person, financially speaking, they feel like they deserve your financial situation. So they, even if you're not, they perceive you as having a better financial situation than they do. And I think that there's some envy around that. Maybe for some of you, you come from a background where you have like supportive family members, or there's just more abundance in your family. That could be something that they obsessively like feel envy over and feel like, well, if I was born in their shoes and had their circumstances, then I would be that way. For some of you, it could be just a matter of like, this person may have thought that like you guys were gonna be together forever, like a happily ever after sort of situation. And I actually think that like if you guys were dating or anything like that, they probably accused you of doing something like flirting with someone else or something like that and ended things prematurely. And so they could obsess back and forth over like, you know, missing you and wishing they hadn't done that, but then at the same time being convinced that you had done something wrong, even if you hadn't. To be honest, guys, like, I feel kind of uncomfortable reading their energy because I don't really think they're very sovereign. And I do think they might need some sort of help or support. Their energy is very unstable, and it's a little bit like concerning to be in. And so I don't feel like going into it too deeply is going to be very helpful. And also I just personally feel really uncomfortable in their energies. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into the guidance portion of this reading and get to the bottom of that, because I don't see much value around channeling their thoughts. Their thoughts like make me really, really sad, if I'm being honest. They make me really sad for them, and they make me wish that like, it makes me sad for anyone who's been on a harmful receiving end of theirs, because for some of you, I feel like this person, like they want this has like personal nemesis energy to it, which is like kind of weird to me, because I feel like whatever went down between the two of you holds a lot less weight. I just feel like your presence in their life held a lot more weight than their presence held in your life, at least now. You might not even think about this person very much. Like there's a part of me that like feels almost like scared, like when I feel into this person's energy, and it's, yeah, okay. No wonder I was so freaked out to do this reading, and jeez. Okay, so very important question to ask. Will this person take any action towards group 1? Can we clarify that? Sun card. yes. However, okay, so this does make me feel a bit better. Those of you where this person, you feel like they're kind of dangerous or not to be trusted, they're probably not going to do anything. And if they do something, it's going to be very harmless and you're going to be aware of it and you're just going to kind of laugh it off. For some of you, though, this person does seem like they're going to try and reach back out. Well, and actually, for some of you, no, they won't take action. Because I don't see their visions ever leaving their head and putting them into reality. Like, this person has very strong convictions, but has a lot of trouble grounding them into something real. Which, honestly, mood, I relate to that. I'm sure we all do to a degree. I definitely think, though, it's quite possible, and I guess for this person's case, like, I feel like they might have the opportunity to do some healing soon that might be really helpful or beneficial for them, where they kind of release and let go anyway. I would say, though, that if this person does anything sketchy towards you, keep documentation of it, keep records of it, things like that. I don't feel like this person would ever, like, try to harm you. I feel like, honestly, the biggest thing is like, they're just harming themselves over and over with this little obsession. But the action that they plan to take is either to rectify any wrongs that occurred between the two of you, which I don't know how they're going to get there. And for others, I feel like this person is going to move on in time. They're going to find their own sense of happiness and fulfillment. And it might just be like, that's enough to get them to leave you alone or just forget about you in a way where they don't think about you obsessively anymore. Well, I guess we should ask, should group 1 do anything about this? Well, I guess I would say if you're already keeping this person at a distance and if you have them blocked and kind of have them away from you, yeah, I would do that. I would also stand up for yourself when people say that they don't understand why you've set boundaries with this person. Or don't feel like you have to explain to yourself, but at the very least validate for yourself why what you've done is necessary. I definitely think that just keeping distance between you and them is the best thing, and eliminating ways for them to communicate with you if they are. Because I do think that, yeah, they could just be a bit obsessive. And the thing is I feel like that obsessive energy, it just goes to the next person whenever that's prompted or created. So, okay. Why did this reading come to group 1? I'm definitely asking that. I'm just as curious. I guess when we have the High Priestess upright, to validate what you've been feeling. Yeah, I guess if you've been feeling like maybe someone has been sending you some psychic nonsense your way. Maybe you've been feeling really anxious. Maybe you've been picking up on their energy, or maybe you've been feeling intuitively like, I should get a Ring camera for my front door, or, I should just make sure they're blocked on trust your intuition. It's helping keep you safe. And actually, one thing I will say about this person is I think that whatever occurred between the two of you only happened in the first place because you probably ignored your intuition about them and had that proven correct. So I definitely feel like the universe is kind of like trust your gut here in this situation, but also know that this sort of obsessive energy around you, like kids are with toys, like they will find a new toy to be obsessed with. I hate that wording, but that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. But yeah, definitely not the type of reading I'm used to giving or that I enjoy giving. Because now I'm just like worried about you, and I just hope that you're okay. And I hope that this person gets the help that they need, and I think some mood stabilizers could do wonders for them if they need that sort of thing. Not that I'm advocating for that, but it just kind of seems like they might have some like physiological things going on that make it hard for them to act in the ways that they intend to, or make it hard to be consistent and clear all the time. So I hope that they get help, and I hope that this reading was at least helpful in some sort of way. That is where I'm going to leave it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel. But if you'd like to do that in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates, you can subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you should sign up for my email list, and come see me live on Saturday with our special guest. You can, yeah, send me love, leave me tip, Cashapp, palehag, PayPal is my email. That's all I have for you guys, so thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading resonated. I hope, well, actually, I'd be okay with it not. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. I love you guys so much, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose this Larimar Heart and La Llorona, this is going to be your reading on whose head are you currently living in rent-free. So La Llorona is the first card for who this is. We have Strength and the 10 of Swords. And then the nature of your relationship to them, we have Spider. We have the 5 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. Wow, okay. So you probably already know who this is. For some of you, this is definitely, if you have a difficult relationship with your mother, congrats, you found the right group. However, if you have a difficult relationship with a family member, period, or if you had a falling out with someone who is a big part of your life, until recently, you found the right group. Because in terms of who this is definitely someone who is grieving whatever has occurred. I was going to say whatever has occurred between the two of you, but I feel like for some of you, this person might be more so grieving the consequences of their actions, more so, or grieving the consequences of their actions, but not the fact that they're grieving the consequences, not the actions, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I think it's pretty clear, no matter who this is definitely someone who can be pretty prideful, and definitely, while they're very powerful, at the same time, they can be very powerless. It's a really interesting where they could be a bit controlling sometimes. I definitely see here that they don't like to show emotion. I just heard Tony Soprano in my head going the strong silent type, like Gary Koopa. So I do think that this could be the type of person who ideally wants to suffer in silence, but I don't think that they do. I think they tell people about how they're feeling. But this is definitely someone who you've had some sort of ending with, or some sort of pretty intense argument with. And whoever this person is, they definitely are struggling with what happened. But I also see them ignoring their role in it. Like seeing how they maybe played a role in this, but then also ignoring that. Yeah, I'm literally getting the vision of the actress Jessica, what's it called? Jessica Walters. Who does she play in that? It's Arrested Development. The Arrested Development version of Mallory Archer, essentially. That like character and that vibe is coming through, which is kind of making me laugh. I hope that's not realistic. But in terms of the archetype of an overbearing mother, because for some of you that could be what this is, an overbearing mother who may not be ready to admit that they need to make some changes. Because in terms of the nature of whoever this is, it doesn't have to be a mother, the nature of your relationship with them, it seems like, number one, it's been causing you a lot of anxiety, the whole situation. I definitely feel like in terms of your relationship with them, I think that you might feel attacked or criticized or judged by them a lot, especially because in this Five of Wands, we only have one creature here. And it kind of seems like there might be other people that echo this person's sentiments, so it might be a little bit extra sensitive for you. And that's the one thing that I will say about who this person is. They're very sensitive. They don't think that they are, but they are, because they may be able to dish it out, but they certainly can't take it back. That's for sure. And the fact that we have Spider here, this is definitely somebody, which, first of all, you could have lived in their web or their home. So, once again, a parental or family figure. Or this could have been someone that had control over you in some sort of way, or could have been controlling towards you. That's definitely one thing that I see. I definitely see the nature of this relationship being one where it's a bit controlling. You don't really feel comfortable or secure. It's a bit exhausting. Might keep you up at night, or might cause you to overthink. You might feel even just anxiety being around this person. And I would even go so far as to say, you would say you know the real version of this person, not what other people think. It reminds me of when you're a kid and you go to someone's house and you're like, oh man, like your mom's so nice. And then their friend is like, yeah, that's because you're here. You should see her when she's alone. I do feel like you get a version of this person that not everyone sees. Like, you have to be maybe too close for comfort around a person like this. But yeah, this is definitely someone that you are not on good terms with, and it does seem like they are grieving this, although externally it may appear to you as they're not bothered at all, and that they're not really having any issues with it or problems with it. But that couldn't be further from the truth. I definitely do think whoever this is, they do kind of have a big ego, and they do have a need to be in control. And the thing is, though, is that this person is capable of great compassion and empathy and understanding. And I think that's maybe actually something that might stump you, where you're like, why can you be so kind and understanding to others and then not to me, like your own child, your own this, your own that? Because I do feel like maybe you also feel like this person competes with you, or they're competitive with you, or they're always trying to one-up you. I kind of see that here as well. Man, I'm so sorry that is a sort of, number one, just something that you're experiencing, and number two, that you're dealing with this. Like, that's not easy. And I imagine, especially if this is a family member, I imagine there's a lot of intense pain around that, because I'm sure you want nothing more than to have a good relationship with this person, whoever they are. and to not be able to get there right now. I could see why that would be hard, but we'll go ahead and see what's going on in this person's head. And I will say, I was picking up mother energies, like that's the energy that I would say that's coming through the strongest, even though I know for all of you it won't be that. But La Llorona is a mother. Well, was a mother until she, at least what the lore states, did some things. Okay, so for group number 2, once again, mother energy coming through. What is this person thinking about when it comes to group 2? What is this person thinking about when it comes to group 2? What's this person thinking about when it comes to group 2? What's this person thinking about the Page of Pentacles in reverse? Bottom of the deck is the 3 of Pentacles. Okay. So I can definitely see here, this person is more earnest than maybe they want people to know. Like, one thing I will say about this person is that the environment they were raised in, they learned a lot of unhealthy and unhelpful habits in this environment that they thought were normal. So, like, for example, if this is a parent, like, their parents definitely treated them a lot, like, definitely didn't treat them very well. And so the way that they treated you kind of mirrors that a little bit, where this person might be kind of processing and kind of realizing, like, wait a second, then maybe if it's not okay for me to behave that way, then maybe it wasn't okay for my parents to do that. Maybe it wasn't okay. Like, there's definitely some reflecting going on a little bit. But the one thing I will say is that with this person, there is a lot of pride. And so I definitely think that they are trying to avoid how deeply they feel, like how deep they're feeling right now. If this is a romantic interest, I definitely think that they are feeling like they really screwed up and feeling like there is nobody like you. And if this is a more family, friendship type situation, I definitely think that this person is picking up on a lot of emotion, not just their own, but I also think they're picking up on the emotions of how they've made you feel. I think that this person is able to be aware of those sorts of things when they're connected to their heart, but I think they feel defensive around that. And so they may not realize that what they're picking up on is, like, for example, you know, like feelings of being judged and criticized, feelings of being anxious and feeling nervous and unsafe around someone. They might be feeling that way. And in fact, they might have said things like that to you, and it might have blown your mind because you're like, that's how I feel around you all the time. And then they might say something like, well, don't change the subject or something like that. And so I definitely feel like they're replaying what already happened. I also feel like they are praying a lot. Like, for some of you, this person is very devoutly religious, not spiritual, religious. And I definitely think that there's kind of an assumption that things will work out. But I think that also they kind of are recognizing that if things are going to work out, then they have to be willing to change. So, like, that's something that's on their awareness. And I think they're also realizing, like I said, they're reflecting a lot in the past around how they were treated and around what behaviors were normalized. And I think that they're realizing that that they have some healing and growing to do themselves, because things that hurt you, they didn't even realize were inappropriate or wrong. I definitely feel like with this Page of Pentacles here in reverse as well, they grew up in an environment where they had to be perfect. And I think that they projected that onto you. Like, you need to be perfect. You need, like, no mistakes allowed. And I think that that was really damaging for this person, and they're recognizing that and seeing how much it's damaged you or how much it's hurt you. I think that that is something that they're very like, well, where do we even go from here? I definitely think that there's a lot of overthinking and a lot of like the reality is that the reason why this person is acting like they're not bothered is because, number one, they are embarrassed and ashamed of how they've behaved. And also there's a part of them that's like, I should have known better. Like, I should have known that, like, that's not a normal or appropriate way to treat someone. And then realizing, like, why they didn't, like, making the connections in their own life. I think that that is something that's very eye-opening for them. I feel like they are very afraid of being rejected by you because they're feeling especially sensitive right now, and they know that you have every right to do that if you want to. So I do feel like for those of you, especially where this is a family member, I do think they might take some time or a lot of time away, especially because they they're having a really hard time sitting with the idea that they're wrong, and also sitting with the idea that their kid, if, like, that interpretation is coming through so strongly. The idea that someone else essentially would be schooling them, I think, is uncomfortable. But also, if this is a parent, one of the things that they could be thinking about is the fact that they might be comparing you to a sibling and being like, well, this sibling didn't turn out this way, so why is it such a big deal here? And maybe that sibling is also affected by it. They just don't really bring things up because they don't want to get into an argument, some sort of thing. I wouldn't be shocked even if they're talking a lot to this sibling or talking a lot to this person about things and kind of working through things. But I feel like this is the type of person to say, like, oh, you know, do whatever you want, I don't care, like, that doesn't bother me. But they do care, and they're very bothered. And I think with the Seven of Wands being here, I definitely think they're feeling quite defensive. And I think that even still, they want to come up with excuses for why they've done things. Because there are certain things where they feel like their actions or what they chose to do was the right thing to do. It was the righteous thing to do. And others, I feel like they know it probably wasn't right, but they don't want to admit that because they didn't realize it was wrong. And I think that there's something to be said about this person, is that their idea of causing harm that was not intentional unless you really made them mad, which I think that they're recognizing, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't take my emotions out on others. Like, that's something they're thinking about. But I also think as well, they could be thinking about you. If this is a parent-child situation, they could be thinking about you when you were a child and be like, oh my gosh, like, how we used to get along so well. Like, how did they change so much? Like, was it school? You know, did they... Like, I do feel like this person is kind of looking for explanations outside of them to just kind of deal with and handle the guilt that they already feel. But ultimately, I do feel they might be repressing some of what happened to them in childhood, so that might be kind of a process. But I do think they want to resolve things, and they do want to change and grow. I do think, but I think they also need to kind of get into a space of acceptance and understanding around their behavior, and also willingness to, like, take accountability for it. I think that part of why you're living in their mind rent free is, first of all, okay, well, if I'm not a parent, but I think that parents likely think about their kids a lot. You know, just an educated guess. So I think that could kind of make sense, but I think part of the reason why you're living in their head rent-free is because, like, emotionally, their emotional body wants them to do something with this guilt and with this shame that they feel. And it comes up most strongly when it comes to you. And if this person typically has a very active role in your life and they're not really doing that right now, you know, they might just instinctually have these impulses to reach out to you about something or to go to you about something and they can't, or they might wonder like how you did on this thing, or might be curious about something else and they can't reach out to you. And I feel like that just kind of sucks and is hard. But it's good for them to recognize, because I think that they're starting to really understand that your presence is a privilege, not a right. And if they can't come correctly in a respectful and understanding way, I think they're starting to understand that you're going to choose to not have them in your life. And I think actually one reason why that hurts them is because I think that they were really hurt by people in their life. And they never set boundaries. They didn't even know they could. They never stood up to them. And I think there's a part of them that's almost angry at themselves, where they're like, why didn't I have the strength to stand up to the people that taught me how to behave this way? Why didn't I, you know, I feel like part of them is angry that you might be exercising an option that they didn't have the strength to or didn't realize existed. And there might be some jealousy there. Okay, so we're going to see if they're going to take any action towards you. So is this person going to take any action towards group 2, please, Spirit? Can you clarify this 5 of Pentacles? Depends. This definitely reaffirms to me that they are going to take some time, like they want you to miss them. Especially if this is a parent or something like that. They may intentionally not talk to you until they know that you need some sort of financial support from them, which, like, I really don't like. That makes my heart sad. But just point blank, that could be what they're doing. Waiting until money is tight enough that you need help from them. But for others, I do feel like they could take action in the sense that maybe if they're the one that's not in, they could reach back out in need of help or support. Which I can feel some of you rolling your eyes and being like, yeah, I could have told you that, ASO. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I do think if you do nothing, you will hear from them between 2 to 5 months from now. That's kind of what I'm seeing. But I would also say as well, any action you would choose to take towards them, they would be open to. So speaking of, let's see if you should do anything. Should group 2 do anything? We have the Chariot. Keep doing you. It's kind of ironic because the Chariot is ruled by Cancer, which is the sign of the mother. So whatever makes you feel balanced, whatever makes you feel confident, whatever makes you feel good, keep going in that direction. You might need to take some time to travel or take some time to just move in your own direction. If you're feeling like you need space and you just need to find a sense of balance on your own, I see that being really heavily encouraged here. But I also think that if you want to bring resolution to the situation, I think you could. However, one of the things that you are going to run into is that it is going to be more imbalanced. I feel like this person is likely going to be less willing to hear what you have to say than you are with them. And part of what's going to be hard about that is it seems like you were the one to set boundaries, or like, you know, kind of stand up for yourself originally. And so hearing them talk about how your boundary setting affected them versus how you just sharing how their original behavior to begin with was affecting you, like, it's going to be kind of frustrating to be like, yeah, okay, like, that's how I feel when you do this thing, that's why I set the boundary. Like, there might be that kind of energy there, and it might kind of require you to take the high road or take space, because I feel like for some of you, and this is completely understandable, like, hearing those excuses come up or hearing that come up, like, it might just set you off and cause you to shut down and make things worse. So if you feel like that potential is there, maybe wait until you feel like you can handle any, especially if you know, like, I feel like you know this person well enough to know, like, what patterns they might have. But also, I would say don't take action until you know what you're going to say and what you're going to do and what your expectations are. Because I think that if you have a clear vision and you come in strongly with, this is what I will put up with, this is what I won't put up with, I think that'll be really helpful for you. And it will also give you kind of, it will help you feel more empowered in the situation and kind of take your power back, where you're letting the other person know, like, hey, this is where I draw the line. Because it's possible you could have those ideas in your head and they could just fall right out as soon as you're in front of them. So why did this reading come to group 2? What was the purpose of group 2 seeing this reading? I think it came to you, number one, because I think for some of you, you might be exploring tarot, or like maybe you just got into like the spiritual side, and so maybe this reading came to you because you were meant to see it, and that's part of your exploration. But I also think that this reading came to you to let you know that, number one, Archangel Michael has got your back, and number two, to let you know that you're already doing a great job in learning and growing, and that there can be improvements here. I wouldn't expect a full 180 change, completely different person type situation, but I do think with patience, balance, and a willingness to work with this person, if you want to have a healthier, more aligned, more balanced relationship with this person, I do think it is possible. But I think that starts with you having clarity on how you want to relate with this person, having the strength to set those boundaries to ensure things stay that way, and also the willingness to be patient with this other person as they grow and learn too. So I feel like you can, like, I do feel like healing will come to this situation naturally, but I also feel like there's kind of this message here around, like, nobody's perfect. And I do feel like if you value the relationship and the person and you want them in your life, I do think that they will be willing to do their best to try and grow and change. There will definitely be bumps in the road, and this person won't be perfect. Like, they still will have things of their old self come out, and, you know, things like that. But it'll actually be really powerful opportunity for you both to grow and learn together. And I think you guys might even have some healing conversations around, I did this because this is how it was done to me. And there might be some understanding of like generational cycles or things like that that you guys talk about together. And have faith in yourself. I think part of the reason why the situation might overwhelm you is because you might be afraid that maybe this person doesn't care enough to fix things with you or to work on things with you. And I would say that that's not true. And maybe value yourself enough to recognize that whether they do or don't, you should value yourself enough to ensure that whoever is socializing with you, it's in a way that is respectful and kind and reflective of behavior you deserve to receive. So, group number 2, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. definitely let me know what this one was about. But that's where I'm going to leave things. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is the simplest and easiest way to show support, appreciation, and help me monetarily, all those things. So thank you to everyone who does that. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, sign up for my email list. Come check out the live this Saturday, which is a date at 2 p.m. Eastern. Other times, not Eastern. You can check out candles, social media, merch. Why do I sound like a cow? Merch. Okay, fuck, what else? You can leave me a tip, Cashapp, palehag, PayPal is my email. You can leave me a like, check out other videos, ones like extended. You can share me with a friend, send me love. I'm sending you love right back. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading resonated. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Amazonite Merkaba and the Flatwoods Monster, this is going to be your reading on whose head are you living in rent-free. So starting with who this person is, we have the Flatwoods Monster. We have the Hierophant in reverse. And we have the Ten of Wands in reverse. And the nature of your relationship with this person, we have Medusa. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. And the Queen of Pentacles. So, this is definitely a former lover, someone who is about to be a former lover, someone that you are in the process of separating with, getting a divorce with, or someone that you deeply wanted to be in a commitment with, but for whatever reason, either they were non-committal, unwilling to commit, or maybe you were in a committed relationship with them, but they just weren't a very great partner. This is definitely a past, at the very least, physical relationship with someone that I believe you have. I'm hearing Dua Lipa in my head. Don't start now. Don't stop now. Don't start now. I don't know. What I do know is that she does a full 180 in that song. And I think in your case, you have done a full 180 with this Medusa card being here and like rebirth. There's energies of rebirth. There's also energies of darkness here, where I think the nature of this relationship was I think you still care about this person. I think you always will care about this person. But I'm hearing someone say like, oh, you've gone cold, like you're stone cold. And so I think that the nature of this relationship is one where you decided to remove your energy, because with this person, it kind of seems like they not only they were either non-committal, or even if they were committed to you, it seems like they could have had some weaponized incompetence going on. It's also possible they could have been quote-unquote too busy for you all the time. It's possible that they could have been taking up a lot of space in your head. This could have been a situation that really overwhelmed you or burdened you. I can definitely see here, though, that the nature of this relationship now is one where it seems like you've kind of lost your attraction to this person because you've evolved and healed in ways where you realize that they weren't giving you very much. It seems like you're starting to realize that maybe you were the light in this situation. You know, like you might have seen a lot in this person, and made a lot of excuses for certain behaviors and things like that. And now you're starting to see like, oh, I was all the magic in this relationship. I was the reason why things were so wonderful. I was the reason why there was so much light here. And I think that this person is recognizing that. I feel like in terms of their relationship towards you, they definitely feel like you've gone cold towards them. And with the Ace of Wands in reverse, like they definitely feel like your interactions towards them are not very exciting or passionate. Like things have definitely fizzled out. And I would say that they also probably feel, for some of you, if this person is a man, they could be feeling emasculated, if that's something that they struggle with. But for all of you, I feel like whoever this is, they are feeling a bit infantilized by you, because it definitely seems like you took, you made some mature choices, rather than giving in to passion and desire, which is what I think this person does. And I think that they're acknowledging that their relationship has shifted. And in your case, I think you're finding that you're not really even attracted to this person now that you have evolved. And on top of that, I would say as well, they're kind of serving as a reminder of why it is important to be picky and why it is important to put yourself first and have others that give the same care to you that you give to them. Because I think one thing about this person is that like they would act like even the bare minimum was too much. And I would say as well, there's someone who can be incredibly committed and incredibly stubborn, but then at the same time they would be like, oh yeah, I don't really think I want a committed relationship, blah 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 blah. And it just kind of seems like they were maybe giving you the runaround a bit. But it definitely seems like whatever happened, this is kind of more so hindsight. So either like you're walking away from this situation already and they know it, or you did walk away from this situation already and they're aware of it. So clearly, because they're like, wow, group 3 is being so cold towards me. And it's like, well, I wonder why. And maybe it's possible you're just not like overly enthusiastic anymore, but even then they've noticed that shift. But I feel like for the vast majority of you, you probably either, for some of you, I wouldn't be shocked if you just ghosted this person and just moved on with your life. But for others, I do feel like you made it very clear, like you were like, nah, I'm done. Like I'm going in a different direction. And yeah, so let's see what they're thinking about when it comes to you, because clearly you're in their head rent-free. Definitely think some of what's in their head is quite physically intimate. I do think they could be missing that. Okay, so what is this person thinking about when it comes to group 3? The 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, they feel abandoned. Which, like, I can't help but just be like, what was there to abandon if you weren't giving them anything? I'll keep going, though. Yeah, we have the 3 of Cups reversed. Yeah, I definitely think part of the reason why this person wasn't interested in commitment, or part of the reason why, we'll get there. Okay. What else? What else is going on in this person's mind when it comes to group 3? We have the 7 of Wands upright. What else? We have the 6 of Wands in reverse. We have the Page of Swords upright. And on the back of the deck, we have the Knight of Cups reversed. This person is definitely feeling deflated and unconfident after being rejected by you, or being ghosted by you, or being broken up with by you. I can definitely see that for sure. They, in their mind, they feel abandoned. And also, if this is like a divorce situation, a situation where there's assets tied up, I think that they're very angry about what they might be losing, or stressing a lot around money. I also think, though, they could be obsessing over who has your heart, the reason why I was like, oh my gosh. For some of you, part of why you walked away from this person was because they were indulging in other people, or they were literally cheating. So, and I think that's the thing, is like the reason why this person wouldn't commit to you is because they knew that they couldn't do that without, like, they wanted to have other people around. And or if this was a committed situation, they were clearly going behind your back. And I'm sure you discovered it and was like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. I feel like they lost, and they're definitely feeling a bit like a loser, and they're also feeling really defensive. They're feeling really defensive. Like, I feel like, here's the thing though, they're not feeling like they messed up. I feel like they're really more so obsessed with the fact that you rejected them, and they're mad about that. Like with this Page of Swords upright, this person, they're selfish. Like, I just gotta be honest, like, they're selfish. And they love to indulge in romantic entanglements. They don't love the intimacy that those entanglements can bring about, because they're just not capable of that. I wouldn't be shocked, even if this person is really intelligent, I don't know how great they are at having deep conversations. They might have avoided those altogether. I definitely think, though, that they feel a lot of intense emotion around being rejected by you, or around losing you, or quote unquote being abandoned by you. I feel like they're really unhappy with the situation. I feel like they had some sort of perfect thing working out when they had you where they wanted you, when things were where they wanted with you, and then whatever else was going on in their life, which I'm just like, that is such an entitled way of looking at things. Like, geez. And with this Knight of Cups in reverse, I feel like they are villainizing you a bit in their head. Like, they have to, like, it couldn't be them. Because I think that they've had this experience where they haven't had to commit because people will put up with them, or they assumed that you would put up with their crap. And so they just didn't think that they would have to change. But I think they see you shining, and they're not a part of that. And I think that they're really, really mad about it. I think that they're honestly probably feeling really frustrated if they've seen you out with other people. If you're in a completely other relationship now, I feel like they could be very jealous, or feel very like, feel like you're the one that got away for them. But the thing is, here's the thing I want to say about that. Anyone would be the one that got away from them, as long as that person was someone that they could no longer have. The one that got away is literally the one that got away from their nonsense. Because in all of this, I see a lot of just me. The reason you're in their head rent-free is because you are the catalyst to them feeling rejected, and feeling unwanted, and feeling not good enough. And so, realistically, they could be thinking about, like, ways they could be mentally, like, tearing you down, or thinking of hurtful things that they want to say to you, that they better not say. I don't think that they will, but I do think that they are really in a super negative headspace. And I think they're honestly kind of behaving like a massive loser. Like, their thoughts, like, are just giving loser energy. And I'm very comfortable calling someone a loser, because a loser, anyone can be a loser. And I'm sure, and you and I at different points have been one, because anyone can have a loser's mentality. And there is a cricket very close to my window. I wonder where it is. Maybe crickets are significant. But I just see this person really feeling sorry for themselves and throwing a huge pity party and feeling like the world is out to get them and feeling like nobody understands them and nobody will ever understand what this is like. I am sure that I wonder if they've said anything to you that's very guilt trippy or manipulative, because I do think they're thinking about that. Like, and let me be clear, with this person, it's about ownership. Like, they are not very emotionally healthy. And I think for them, they don't know what an equal, balanced, harmonious relationship is like. They kind of tend to thrive in triangulated dynamics, or just dynamics where there's like they don't have to dive too deeply. I feel like you were very generous and very caring with this person, and they took that for granted. And so now they look at that and they're like, oh, well, their generosity, like, it was just fake. It was just manipulative. They were just doing that because they wanted me to be a certain way. And it's just like, dude, what? Like, I don't know. I've had enough of this person's pity party, I gotta be honest. But just know, no matter what they're saying or however they're acting, they are the epitome of, if you've ever seen that meme of the guy that's like, he's like crying and angry, but he's wearing a smiley face mask on top. That's this person right now, especially when it comes to you. I feel like, though, the thing that saddens me to see is that I wish that maybe in some of all of this, like, I wish there was some reflection on, like, the value you brought to their life, like how you how they felt for you, things like that. And really more so, honestly, a mirror could have dumped this person and they'd be going through the same motions. And I don't say that to say that that's how little worth you have. That's how little this person truly connects. Your value, like, you were super valuable. It's part of why they're upset, but part of why they're upset too is just because, like, the things that upset them usually have to do with them because they're very focused on themselves, I guess is what I was trying to say. It's like, yes, you're valuable, but also anyone who's willing to do what they want without pushing back is valuable. Okay, so, oh, and I swear I feel myself starting to, like, break out in hives, which happens sometimes really randomly for me. So they could actually be very stressed about this. Like, I don't know, maybe they needed you for something and now they no longer have you and they have a lot of learned helplessness, or they don't know how to get things done on their own. Yeah. Listen, you may be living in their head rent-free, but I hope you move out because it's not a place where I'd want to stay. Okay. Anyway. Will this person take any action towards group 3, please, Spirit? Yeah, they're definitely gonna, like, can you clarify what the 6 of Pentacles will be? Okay, yeah. They're definitely gonna reach out, and it's definitely gonna have to do with money stuff. Or something that you offered to do in the past that they never took you up on. They're gonna be like, hey, so can you still do that? Or hey, so like, they might try to do something generous in order to, like, get back into your good graces, or they might find something of yours, i.e. something that they probably kept as a trophy or a souvenir, and be like, hey, do you want me to bring this back? Something like that. I feel like they will try to like give to you in an innocent and innocuous way in order to just like lower your defenses and see like if you still quote unquote hate them. That's what they think. They're like, oh, they hate me, blah blah blah, whatever. I don't even know who this person is, and I'm like, I cannot sit here and listen to your excuses. Like, okay. And that doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means that it's a bad thing to use others for what they can give you. And it's also not a great thing to treat others poorly and then do no self-reflection as to why they might not want to hang around as a result. Okay. Should group 3 do anything? Is there anything group 3 should do in this situation? Keep to your damn self. Hold back. Focus on you. Focus on your stability. And if you talking to this person, you feel like you would, you know, fall back into old habits or patterns, or maybe you're feeling vulnerable, maybe don't interact with them. Hold things down. Protect yourself. And stay strong. Focus on your stability and your security. And don't give them anything. Literally don't give them anything. You're not their cash cow. You're not their mother. Let them do what they're gonna do. Okay. So, why did this reading come to group 3 today? Why did this reading find group 3, please? Okay, we have the Magician and the 8 of Wands. This reading came to you today as confirmation of what you're manifesting and creating. The fact that you're no longer attracted to this person and have done the very challenging thing of making changes is a sign that you're rapidly headed in the direction towards where you want to be. I also feel that this is a beautiful sign that you are going to successfully move through this time, which maybe you already have. Maybe for some of you, you're just meant to hear a message that something you're in the process of creating is happening very, very, very soon. I also think you just needed to hear that you had every right to do what you needed to do and to want something different for yourself. I feel like you need to hear that you did the damn thing and you're creating a whole new life for yourself based on one that you created, one that makes you happy, one that makes you excited. And I think that this life is rapidly coming into your life now. And so I feel like this reading came to you to let you know that like the action that you're taking is great, to keep going, and to also know that you're going to continue to see rapid change in your life as you continue to step into more change. And I also just think that you could be hearing some exciting news soon, or something exciting could be happening in your personal life that comes as a direct result of the changes that you've made. Maybe because your energy is more attractive, because you have a healthier self-esteem, or whatever the case may be. I definitely think you're attracting a lot of beautiful opportunities. And if you've been wanting a relationship where someone does honor and value you and treat you well, I feel like not only are you creating that, but they could be coming in quite quickly. Maybe they're coming to visit soon or something like that. I don't know if you've already met them. But what I do know is that this situation right here, you played a role in creating it by wanting more for yourself and loving yourself enough to say no to behavior that you didn't deserve. And as a result, you're seeing your life change, and the universe is just really saying keep going because you deserve even more of that. Beautiful. Well, this situation isn't beautiful, but you're beautiful. So group 3, that's where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background while I do something else, or while you do something else. I'm not doing anything. Well, what I'm doing when you're watching, who knows? It could be anywhere doing anything. Definitely sign up for my email list, like this video if you enjoyed it, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, my social media. You can check out my other readings, ones with extendeds. You can check out candles, merch, all that jazz. Sign up for my email list. I think I already said that. You can Subscribe, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. I do my best to respond to comments. You can subscribe if you haven't already. I think I already said that. I'm like, you can tell I'm like ready to check out. I'm like, I can't even remember what I'm saying anymore. You can leave me a tip. You can send me good vibes. Share me with a friend. All that jazz. But that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I love you guys so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is you're watching this video. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!